Welcome back, Troglodytes, to another episode of Trogly's Guitars. This is an interesting Les Paul Custom from 2007. I dubbed this one the Angel. Something about this guitar, looking down on it, playing it, there's so much wood grain. The pictures really do this one no justice, so I'm hoping that this video really shows off this wood grain, because something about the green plastics with the chrome hardware, it's very angelic. Mix that with the maple fretboard. Yes, the maple fretboard, a very rare iteration of the Les Paul Custom. It's just such a beautiful guitar, and I guarantee you Gibson will never issue a guitar that looks like this, unless you buy this guitar and you become a famous rock star with it. So I bought this Les Paul Custom as a husk on Reverb. Somebody was just selling the husk. They wanted to keep their parts, so it's like, all right, let's work a deal, because I love maple fretboards on Gibsons. Unfortunately, modern day Gibsons do not have lacquer on the fretboard, so I'm not much of a fan of the unlacquered maple. I mean, you might like it better because it's less sticky, but I kind of like that sticky feel for some reason. I know I've been really looking for a 70s one with a maple fretboard, but I thought this would do for now. So this guitar came as a stock 2007 Les Paul Custom with maple fretboard with gold hardware. You can see that because the original studs in here are gold. When I got it, it had been converted to black hardware. The seller included some of that black hardware. I just thought, well, the black doesn't really go with this. So I was trying to figure out, what should I do with this husk? How should I make this guitar great again? And then I had the idea of, well, it's got the maple top, maple fretboard, mahogany neck, but it's been, the finish has been taken off of it in the stinger. I thought, you know, I could take this and turn this into a Zakk Wylde Vertigo. So I've had quite a few of the Bullseye Custom, but the Vertigo, it starts as the Bullseye up here, and then it kind of inverts that shape in a weird way. And I was looking online to see if somebody made an inlay sticker that I could just throw on top of this guitar to get a cheaper version of a Vertigo for you guys, but I couldn't find that. I didn't have all the pieces I need. I had to put EMGs in, and I just decided to look in my parts drawer and see what could I do with this guitar with what I have on hand. So this is what I created. I like it. I think it looks good. Once again, I dubbed this one the Angel. I put Gibson PAFs, this Rhythm Pro and Lead Pro. Those are pretty nice pickups. I'm not the best at wiring, so I actually put a quick connect system in here. Unfortunately, whoever took the parts out of the other guitar was kind of a jerk and cut the ground wire too short. You can see it just out of the end of the hole in there. So this guitar isn't properly grounded. I'll show you that here in a second, that you do get some very light humming if your fingers are not on the strings. However, it's not bad enough that I think you must do something about it. I think it's a thing that you just take it to your luthier. It's pretty easy to do. I just don't have the right tools to pull the bushing out of the guitar to run a new one. Or you could maybe be able to splice it. It's really hard to get it out of that little hole, but you can get it. So quick connect, I had these pickups modified to the quick connect ends. You can always cut those back off if you'd rather go back to traditional wiring. But I think this guitar sounds really good. It's really loud and powerful. So Gibson pickups, however, all I had handy were Epiphone rings. So you're gonna see that there is a missing screw here, here, and here. That's because it just doesn't line up very well. They're still 100% secure. You can't pull them off, they don't move. Shake it around all you want. You don't need those screws. I will say, if you want to lower the action, you might have to get the pickup rings shaved down a hair. You do have a little bit room left on the action, but I just want to be upfront and honest about anything that you might have to do to this guitar. But besides that, this guitar was actually played so much. The fretboard was really dirty. Luckily, I was able to clean most of that off. You can see some dark staining in a few areas, but it had been refretted. The fret ends a little sharp when you're going along this way. You might feel it a little bit, but in a general playing the way I do, I don't. But I just want to be upfront and honest about everything because the fret nibs are gone. But this is the stock fretboard, so this had to have been played a lot. They're pretty tall frets, so it's definitely good to go for a while. I changed out all the plastics on here to the cream, so nothing's really original on this guitar, but for the most part it's Gibson parts except for those pickup rings. So let's take a look at this guitar. The face of the headstock has some wear and tear, as you're seeing here. You've got some light string change scratches in this area, but overall it's in pretty good shape. I mean, not destroyed or anything, but definitely has some wear and tear. Looks like the original nut yet, and once again original maple fretboard on this one with looks like a jumbo refret. It plays pretty well up and down the neck. No dead frets or anything. The refret was a really good job on this one. Once again, Gibson pickups, Rhythm Pro, Lead Pro, Gibson styled bridge and tailpiece. There's no like major nicks or dings on the top. I will note there is kind of a small little ding right here, but it's not too bad. But I just really like the wood grain on this example. I mean, you can dress this up any way you want. Got some light nicks and dings in this area. But yeah, you can dress this guitar up any way you want. This is just how I have it right now. And once again, I dubbed this one the Angel. It's just got a lot of white and pale. I don't know, I just think this would look really cool on like a white background. These are Gibson golden speed knobs. I thought this would be the best choice. I know there are paler versions of these out there that might look even better, but this originally had gold hardware. You can see I used the original skirted washer there for the three-way switch. Back of the headstock, CS7493. And that makes this a 2007. It does still have the certificate of authenticity. Got your Gibson custom logo there. But once again, the finish has been taken off of this neck, so it kind of gives you that raw wood feel. Usually I like that. I'm not a huge fan of this example. I would almost want to put that back on, but you might feel different, so we'll let it go as is. There's no breaks, cracks, or repairs, but I do want to note that kind of right here, it might look like a crack. It's not. That's just kind of where they sanded it away. And I just don't want, you to get this guitar and go, is that or is it not? It's not. So neck profile, I would call this kind of a medium profile. I think they call this like a 59 rounded. And it's not huge, it's not thin, it's just that right in between. You can see there are some spots where the lacquer still kind of exists. There's a small spot there and looks like right there, but overall, a pretty good finish takeoff job. The back does show some wear, but you also got some nice little dancing figuring in the back, which is quite nice. But you got some very light nicks and dings in the back. But overall, I mean, this is a really cool guitar. Part of the quick connect that I have is a locking neutral jack. So when you put that in there, you can't actually remove it. That's great on stage, because if you're stepping on your cable, you're not gonna, come off and make a loud sound on stage. That'll actually lock it into place. In order to get it out, you have to hold down this red tab and then yank it out. It's a little hard to do, but these are kind of convenient. But you're gonna see here that there are 4 exposed holes for the original style jack. I had to drill a new hole for one of these, and I used the existing hole on that one. So you will have an extra hole right there, but that'll be underneath a normal jack if you wanted to switch out to traditional electronics. The sides are in pretty good shape. You do have some light wear and tear, especially on the treble side. But I don't know, I'm happy with the way this one turned out. I'm not going to price it to the moon. Usually you can't get a maple fretboard for this cheap, but this is definitely an inexpensive example if you want to try out a maple fretboard on your custom. In your blacklight, you can see the headstock is good. You can kind of see some of the wear on the fretboard, but I mean, there's no divots or anything, just some dirt with the original finish on the front here. This really shows off the wood grain the best under blacklight. I love it. So as you can see, this example has lots of it, and really the videos and pictures don't do this one justice. You really got to hold this one in your hands to appreciate it. There was a pickguard on at one point in time. I didn't have a cream pickguard available that fit it perfectly, but I think it looks better with that one anyways. Here you can see the back of the headstock. And once again, the finish was removed on the back of the neck for a more smooth playing experience. But the back of the guitar is in good shape, nothing to worry about. This one does have the shallow binding in the cutaway, so you can see the exposed maple top. And that's the screw hole from the pickguard bracket there if you wish to install a pickguard again. So whether you want to buy this one to keep it as is, or if you'd rather just buy it as a husk because you don't like the modifications I made, I mean, it's a great guitar either way. This one weighs 10 pounds, 6.2 ounces. This Angel does come with its original Gibson custom case. As you can see here, you've got some wear and tear. This is definitely a gigged guitar. It's got some Tolex tear there, some white spots, but overall, everything still functions just fine. You got all your latches and whatnot. All of your lid ribbons are intact yet as well, and beautiful maroon interior. And I'll say it again, these are nice plush cases. I like the Gibson custom cases. I think they really do fit the guitars pretty well. Inside the compartment lid here is the original certificate of authenticity. Believe it or not, this giant piece of paper that they thought was a good idea. Nowadays they have a small little leather booklet that fits in here a lot better. But you do still have that, the serial number matches and all that. So this is, you know, a pretty important piece of paper to have when you have a maple fretboarded one. But the reason why people lose these things is because they're too scared to fold them. So every one I get, I just fold them up. That way they actually fit in it, because usually people throw it on top of the guitar, it scratches it up in shipping, but I just fold it up and put it in there. For the clean tones, we'll be running through a Gibson Super Gold Tone GA30RV. For distorted tones, we'll be running through a Marshall JMP1C. Just want to demonstrate what it is, the grounding issue. When you don't have any hands on the guitar or you're not touching the pickups, you do get this slight hum that you hear here. It's fairly minor, so if you wanted to gig with it as is, you could. I mean, it's not like a big sound or anything, but you just need to run a new ground wire or splice the ground wire. But as soon as you touch the pickup, that goes away. But once again, I mean, you don't have to do it. It's really a mild annoyance. But let's hear how she sounds. my distortion on, this is kind of what the buzz sounds like. And once you touch the pickup, it kind of goes away. So that shows you how minor it is, but I do want to be upfront and honest about it. Time for the dirty tune. Like this angel to land at your house, feel free to contact me on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Troglys, Trogoys, or check out the Reverb and eBay listings. Alright, Troglodytes, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.